Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Thursday morning. Today we're going to be talking to 2 people from the rescue mission. It's been around since 1949, helping the homeless. We'll talk about that, and also someone will be here who's written a new book in the second part of the program. 436 Me TV option 11. Hey, we're back with our program here on Connect with Me in just a moment. And back here on the program, live on Comcast Channel 187 and 43.6, and now, of course, 13.1. Hey, later on today, if you want to watch the replay of this program, you can catch us at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on 13.6. That would be U2, and 8 o'clock tonight, 13.5 Biz TV. So now you can catch us all over the map, and then later on, we'll be on YouTube if you choose to watch us there on the internet 24/7. So my thanks to Tal Cloud for filling in the last 3 days or so. Had taken my daughter up to Sacramento at the Shriners Hospital for an operation that took place on Monday. Glad to say it was a total success. She's now in full recovery. Not an easy thing, but she's going to make it. She's still up in Sacramento there. So we thoughts and prayers with my daughter. Anyway, thanks to Tal Cloud. Hey, today we're talking about a problem here that has been around, I think, since the beginning of time, and it never seems to go away, and it almost seems like it turns into a political football each and every year that an election comes around. I'm talking about the homeless issue right here in the Central Valley, and it seems to a certain extent that a lot of people don't want the homeless around, and they keep moving around. I want to take you to the videotape, my friend, and talk about an organization that has helped the homeless here in this area since 1949. It is the Fresno Rescue Mission. That's the post-World War II era, when this area was like a mini Bible Belt, as evangelical Christians began to help the homeless people right after the war was completed. At that time, the mission helped Skid Row alcoholics, transient farmers, but fast forward 60 years later, and this place helps so many others in need, like drug users, impoverished families, neglected and abused children, those with mental disabilities, and much, much more. The first thing that they do at the mission is to try to give the homeless a hot meal, a shower, and a place to stay. But from that point on, they teach them personal responsibility. They must learn life skills such as, hey, how about parenting? Try that. How about marriage? Try that. Career services? Try that. And furthering your education, all of which can be learned. There must be a show of independence and a desire to try to improve. There are so many who are homeless in this area, the young, the old, the veterans, the drug users, the gang members, those who even have an education, and those who've held jobs at one time or another. What do you think? What's the first thing that goes through your mind when you see a homeless person? Do you pretend not to see them? Do you avoid them altogether? Do you give them money? Do you feel for them, or do you not know what to do? Live in our studio right now is Bud Searcy and Reverend Lary Arcy, the CEO of the Fresno Rescue Mission. They are both here to answer your questions about the homeless. It is a major problem, not only for the holidays as we approach Christmas. You know, Christmas Day is 1 week from today, and then you've got New Year's Day, and the holidays are full throttle upon us now. But this is a year-round problem. It's not going to go away, and it seems like every time there is an election year, this homeless issue gets tossed around like a political football. 436 Me TV option 11, 2 people in from the rescue mission. Back with our program in a moment.
This fall, there is a place, familiar and inviting, timeless and warm. Me TV, a place all your own that you can call home.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
This fall, home is where you'll find me.
You mean to tell me that's all there is to it?
That's all.
Me TV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
All right, back here on our program on Comcast 187, 43.6, and 13.1. And Bud Searcy and Lary Arcy are here. Good to have you on the program, gentlemen. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you, John.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, no problem. So you guys serve those people that you call the least, the last, and the lost. Why is that?
We call them that because these are people that find themselves between the rock and a hard place. There's nowhere else to turn. They've reached rock bottom. And so we with much pride, we take them in and help them out. As you said, even the scriptures say you're always going to have the poor, and we're always going to have that situation. We've just managed to see it grow over the decades that we've been involved in, and we continue to see changes within the structure of homelessness, and so we're always there trying to meet those needs.
Was I correct in my monologue in saying that personal responsibility is a huge thing?
It is.
You give them the tools, but then if they fail, is it their fault or is it your fault?
You know, a lot of people feel sometimes guilty when they see somebody out on the street, but are they? A lot of times it's the individual's fault. You know, when we had all the encampments out by the mission and the Poverello House, I had a team of chaplains that would go out there individually at night and literally beg the folks to come in where it's warm, where it's safe, where it's secure. They got a nice warm bed, have all that they need, but a lot of times they would say, is there any rules? And so we would say, yes, there's rules. Just behave yourself, no drugs, no alcohol, no smoking in bed.
Hey, here's some of the video that we're looking at here, and I think these are some of the encampments that you were talking about, right?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Okay, what year was this? Was this last year? September of last year, I think, right?
Yes, it's been a little over a year that we've been able to, the city of Fresno, the police department, and many other concerned citizens have been able to get rid of the encampments. No longer are we having the encampments as we used to have before.
Okay, got a call coming in. We'll stay with this video here because interesting video that we found on YouTube of the homeless encampments, and of course those have been totally dismantled now. Good morning, you're on Connect with Me caller. Go ahead.
Yes, the solution, if you wanted to discuss locally or generally, there's 2 ways I would think. Locally, as everybody is concerned about their city, it's going to have to be where the portion, I think, of the taxes should be set aside for this issue. This issue is not going to go away. And generally, the big picture is that our government is not really focused on, I guess, people. If they were, first of all, they would not take advantage of the system or play games, as you see with the gasoline. The other side, they say, well, the consumption has gone down. I don't know if you have driven your car less than normal since 5 months ago than me. I can tell you nobody has. Everybody drives the same way. It's all politics. So if they could take that $1.50 that has gone down and apply in a good use, we can resolve this. But the unfortunate thing is the focus of the government is not on taking care of its people. Because of this politics that you see on the side, and they waste the money for different reasons, that's against humanity, because these are human beings on the streets. They're begging. There are countries that it's a shame to have somebody on the street begging like they do. And it's very basic thing that they can take care of with money issue. It has nothing to do basically because they can't. They can, but they're not focusing on it. Okay? Thank you.
All right. I mean, I agree with the caller to a certain extent, but let's enter you into the conversation here, Bud, because you run this program that's for men. It's an 18-month program.
That's right.
Drug users, alcoholics, and this and that. Okay, whose problem is this and whose fault is it? Is it our responsibility to get these people back up on their feet, or is it their own responsibility? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Is that the philosophy?
The only ones that really put in the effort to change their life are the people that want it. There are multiple reasons why people end up on the street in a program like ours. Some people were raised in generational poverty. That's all they know. They were their families were on welfare. Their families were on welfare. Some of them are gang members. Their fathers were gang members. They're drug users. They come from a family of drug users. So there are generational cycles that go back, sometimes span generations. So you're looking at multiple lifestyle issues and ways of thinking that have to change, and those don't change easily or overnight. So it's much bigger than the drug problem.
It is much bigger than the drug problem, but I'm trying to get to the core of the issue here. Why has the homeless issue always been an issue, and why doesn't it ever go away? Why can't we ever solve it? Larry, maybe you can answer that. I don't know.
You know, back when Johnson was President of the United States, he had this war on poverty, and they literally put billions and billions of dollars toward addressing the issues of homelessness and poverty and all of that. Well, that war, they lost it. Literally, they lost it.
Why?
We had a downturn in the economy, and the downturn in the economy affected a lot of people. Recently, the Association Gospel Rescue Mission, of which we belong to, we're one of the members of that association. They did a study nationwide in North America looking at all the reasons for some of the poverty reasons that we have now. And one of the things they found out is that 3/4 of the people that have come within the last year to rescue missions, this is their first time that they've been homeless. So that issue is continuing to be there, continuing to deal with that issue. Now, we've categorized homeless people here in Fresno into those that are constantly homeless and those that are temporarily homeless. Those that are temporarily homeless, we help them out a lot. We're able to get them back on track, get back on a job, get back on a home, provide the necessities they need for a short time. But then there's the others that are entrenched in homelessness, as Bud was mentioning earlier. This long term, it comes from generational problems, dysfunctional families, and so we see that. And
can you rehabilitate those that are entrenched?
Yes, we see it all the time.
How
every year.
Can you rehabilitate those that have had a lifestyle, a long life history of being impoverished?
You have to want it.
You have to want it, but I can say this, and they'll be the first to tell you, if I didn't know Jesus Christ, I would have still been out on the street. We're a Christ-centered organization.
So no one is beyond being rehabilitated, is what you're saying.
No, we don't give up on people.
Even if that person has had a lifelong history of being on the street?
Yes, we see that all the time. Over the years, I've seen countless numbers of men that we had literally given up on. There was one gentleman now that's a minister here, has a large ministry here in the community that I see all the time in the county jail when I work for the probation department. He'll be there all the time being arrested for all kinds of things, but once he got a hold of, if you want to say religion, but he had a relationship with Jesus Christ, his life changed.
So you're saying don't give up on someone?
No, we don't.
No matter how bad the situation?
No. You know, Scripture tell you God never gives up on us, and we don't.
We don't give up on people.
We're the redemption center, really, in the community.
Right.
I've seen people, pick up, those old plastic bottles. They've been discarded, thrown away, thrown in the gutter, if you will, as an example. But people pick that up and they redeem them.
All right.
And that's what we do.
Caller, go ahead. You're on the air. Caller? Hello?
Yes. Let me ask a question. Yeah, let me ask a question to both your guests. I have friends that went into the war, Afghanistan and Iraq. When they came back out of that system, there was an issue with them that they people didn't understand why they had all these problems, and a lot of them left their homes, whether they were married or not, and just took the streets. A lot of them were homeless. And we as a government should take the responsibility of at least trying to find some homes or whatever, or portables and all that. But like John says, each person should take responsibility of their own lives, drug addicts and all that. And I've been around most of them because I grew up in a gang area place. But you two have more I guess, of a teaching where you can listen to their problems, because most of them that come to you, they don't want a handout. They want a way out. Okay.
Right. Yes.
And as long as they have someone to hear them and understand their problems and all that, they can think, But when they get back into society, they have nowhere to go.
Okay.
The government has just kind of left them out, and it's all politics.
All right.
That's all it is.
All right, caller,
And that's all I wanted to say.
I appreciate the phone call. So, okay, we keep talking about the government. I got to take a break, and I'm going to come back and address some of these issues that the caller brought up. We're talking with Bud Searcy and the Reverend Lary Arcy. He is the CEO of the Fresno Rescue Mission. They're both here today to answer your question about the homeless problem. Whose responsibility is it? Is it the government's responsibility to take care of these people, or is it a private issue? Is it their own problem? Should we be involved? 436-MeTV, option 11. We're back with our program in a moment.
The Ballad of Andy and Barney. Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Warned every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were the law.
Yes, they were the law, and they didn't know fear.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I guess to sum it up, you could say there's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, and there's me, and baby makes 3.
Now on MeTV Fresno.
Hey, back here on the program, 436-MeTV, option 11, talking about the homeless problem and the Fresno Rescue Mission and what their role is. Caller, you there? Well, the caller was there. They hung up. So these people, do they show up at the rescue mission? Do you go seeking them out? How does it work?
You know, we have a lot of people referred to us by family. Some just walk in. Some are referred by the courts, probation, parole. But many people know that we're there, we're available. A lot of people that are hungry, they know they can get a meal. They need clothing, they get that. And if they want shelter, they're able to get that. You know, you were talking about whose responsibility is it? At one time, a lot of the folks on the streets were being arrested and they were being put into custody and all of that. After a while, Jerry Dyer said, you know, it's not a police issue, it's a humanitarian issue. It's an issue that needs to be looked at more in an ethical way. The churches should be more involved. The city has tried to do everything that they can to help out. I had personal discussions with the city, and they're trying to do everything that they can.
You agree with that, Bud?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of what we call first touch services. One of them, we serve over 1,000 meals a day. So our hopes is by feeding the hungry and giving them clothing that they need, that some of our men in the program will encourage them and then convince them to get into the rehab program, and a lot of them do.
Caller, go ahead. Maybe it was that same call. He's just not that patient. So as we look at the video here, these were some of the encampments. Where did these people go?
Well, the city tried to be able to help a lot of them and get them extra housing of what they had.
Are they still on the street?
No, you don't see a lot of those folks out on the street. And many of them were able to get help. Many of them were able to go home with families. There was a number of folks that came into our program initially to do an assessment. A lot of them left the community, left town, went to other states with other family members. So we were able to place them.
Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, I'd just like to welcome you back, and I'm happy that your daughter's surgery went good, and bless those individuals who help the homeless. 2 questions real quick. One is, do you find that there's a lot of mental illness with the homeless in certain circumstances? And about 10 years ago, I know there's certain communities in the South Side who would offer homeless in their communities, you know, free tickets to go up to Fresno to just get them out of the community. I'd like to hear your thoughts about those 2 items. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Bud.
Well, we do have a number of people that are on the streets that are homeless, that are mentally ill. And through our program called Community Care, we have emergency housing with case management. We're able to identify those individuals who have mental health issues and give and connect them with the mental health services that they need to help stabilize them. And many of these people they're also getting into programs like ours who are drug addicted and have mental illnesses. So what people don't realize is that what we are doing is that we're actually getting people off of the streets, many who are mentally ill, many who have drug addictions, and many who've been victims of domestic violence and abuse. We are actually getting them the services and help that they need.
So is it the government's responsibility? Do you believe that, Bud?
I think it's everyone's responsibility. I mean, the government can throw money at it, but the government can't solve the problem.
They've proven that time and time again.
Yeah.
They can't solve
How many
the problem.
millions of dollars are going to throw at it, and still the problem is getting worse and worse. It's going to take all of us collectively doing our part. and supporting what people think is helping the homeless sometimes is enabling them, not helping them at all. That the best thing they can do is support the organizations like us, like Poverello and others, that we're experts in the field. We know what we're doing, and work with us within our organization to volunteer or to support in some way, instead of going out on your own and trying to give out tri-tip sandwiches and things like that. It's a feel-good opportunity, but it really doesn't help.
Well, okay, is it a handout or are they looking for a way out? Because, you know, I've heard many people say, look, I've seen these people stand on the corner asking for money, the same people day in and day out. If you can stand on the corner for 8 hours and beg and ask for money, aren't you well enough to get a job?
People are shocked how much money they rake in every day. You would be shocked.
And they have an ability to work, but that's the thing. You see these young people out there asking for money, and when we tell them to come into the program, oh no, I don't want rules, I don't want regulations, I don't want you telling me what to do when I get up and when I go to sleep, and I want to still be able to do or still engage in my vices.
The money that they bring in every day, standing on the off-ramp or on-ramp, on the streets collecting money, they're really raking enough money that they could go out and get housing. I guarantee you that money is not being spent towards housing or get off the streets.
Right, right. Hey, I want to talk about this program. We do have a videotape of the Academy. It's the Men's Academy that you run. Is that right, Bud?
That's right.
Okay, I want to talk about that because it was, you know, this is a case where you recently purchased the old Vagabond Inn over there off of 99, and here it is now. Let's talk a little bit about this and what the program is and what property you guys purchased.
Okay. Well, the Academy is the men's rehab program. It's 18 months with a 6-month aftercare component. And we try to accomplish 4 goals within the Academy. First goal is to lead them to a vibrant relationship, life-changing relationship with Jesus Christ. Second goal is to help them to give them the tools they need to overcome their addictions once and for all. Third, to reconcile them to their families. And the fourth is to produce productive members of society.
What are we looking at here in the video? What is that?
That's the Computer Learning Center. In that class, we have a computer literacy class where they teach them how to use a computer, how to use Microsoft Office software, and we have our GED class in there where our men are working towards gaining their GED. About 40% of our population did not graduate from high school and do not have a GED, so it's a mandatory part of our program. So that's what the gentlemen are doing right here. We also have our Career Employment Services class in there where we help them to produce a resume. We give them the skills they need to interview and to get a job and to keep a job once they get it.
What age groups do you see here?
Well, when I first started at the mission 12 years ago, our median age group was 35. Now, currently, it's 25. We're getting, it's getting a lot younger, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids that are coming there, and most of them are from gang backgrounds.
Okay, so they're learning computer skills here.
Yes.
How are they learning how to get off drugs, how to overcome their alcohol problems?
Right. We have treatment. Our program is just, they just don't live there and work. They're going through treatment. So they're going through classes, relapse prevention classes, addiction education, giving them tools to understand their triggers. They're assigned counselors. They're required to go to counseling every week. They're involved in a full-scale program.
Now, what building did you purchase? The Vagabond Inn over there and the Broke Bit Steakhouse?
Well, that was the old. It's now their
You renovated
cafeteria.
that, right?
We renovated it, yes. And the Rescue of the Children is the women's counterpart to the Academy. They pretty much mirror what we're doing in program, but it's meant for women.
Hey, we've got a call coming in. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Oh, what advice do you have for somebody who gets harassed by a homeless person? I live in the Tower District, and I get a lot of, I'm harassed a lot by, I live in the Tower District, and I get harassed by at least 3 or 4 people before I reach my destination. So what advice could you give me to tell the homeless people? I feel sorry for them. Sometimes I give them some change, and I just don't know what to do. I would like some advice about that. Thank you.
I would encourage our caller just to let them know that she's not able to do that. offer the opportunity for them to be able to go somewhere. There's programs available for them, but not to feel guilty if she's not able to help. But they're always going to be encountered or accosted, if you will, by asking for money or asking for some type of a handout. John, I'd like to also cover something else. Some of our callers said the government needs to be able to do something. Everybody seems to want to turn to the government. You know, I don't believe in that. The government does not have all the answers. In fact, sometimes the government could be the worst situation. I've always looked at it this way. We have about 350 churches in the community. When you look at the number of homeless that are out there, there's about 500 out there that are very entrenched out on the streets. But if all those churches would just take one individual and bring him and embrace him into their church, we would get rid of homelessness here in the community.
Okay, so about 500 in this area that are on the street constantly, huh, in the city of Fresno. Okay, talking to Bud Searcy and Lary Arcy, both from the Fresno Rescue Mission, talking about the homeless problem here, not only in Fresno, but the Central Valley. We're back with our program and your phone calls, 436-ME-TV, option 11. What to do about the homeless, especially now during the holidays. Back in just a moment.
Frigidaire. It means the first electric refrigerator. The first compact electric range. Now, there's the Frigidaire Gallery Range with Symmetry double ovens. It's designed to cook multiple dishes at multiple temperatures, so you can prepare the entire meal at the same time. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Okay, so what should we do about the homeless problem? 436-ME-TV, option 11. And this problem has been around since the beginning of time. And so, Bud, you talked a little bit about the Rescue the Children. What is that program involved? Go into more detail about what that program is all involved. And as we look at more video from the rescue mission itself, located exactly where?
Rescue Mission, the main building is at 310 G Street, downtown.
Okay, and about this program, it's called Rescue the Children. Talk a little bit about what that entails.
Now, Rescue the Children, like we did renovate the old Vagabond, and it's on 99 south of Clinton. It's so at a totally different area of town. And it mirrors the academy in a lot of ways in that it's programming and helping the women who are addicted. But it helps women that are in emergency situations. They could be victims of domestic violence or homeless in any way. So they provide emergency shelter for women with children. Also, they provide a place where women that are being released from prison that can transition back into society and back into with their families. And then they have the rehab program, what they call Transforming Life Communities, for women who have also problems with drug and alcohol to get rehabilitation. And they can have their children with them.
What are we looking at here?
This is the chapel. We have chapel every night. Our guys in our program they get church. And we had different churches from all over the Fresno, Clovis area who come and they minister to the men. They preach, they pray with them, they connect with them, and a lot of our people who come and do services also become volunteer mentors and teachers and tutors for our men as well.
Here's an email question. Why isn't organized religion more proactive in the homeless epidemic and the problem here in the Central Valley?
Well, there's you know, there's some folks out in the community say, why beat them up with religion? Why can't you just feed them and house them and clothe them? But we really feel that you need to fix up the inside. If you fix up the inside, it just extends itself to the outside. You know, if it's like they say, you put a pink ribbon around a pig, but it's still a pig. But what we do with our individuals, it's a mindset and it's a heart change in the individual. God says all the issues of life originate from the heart. And so if you change the heart and give this individual the joy and the peace that only Christ or your faith can give to you, that'll help you out a long ways and be able to address your issues and want to. It puts a want to make changes.
Do you feed the homeless, but you don't house them now? Is that it?
Well, we've changed our philosophy over the last few years. Maybe Reverend Arcy would like to touch on that.
Well, feeding is just our first step to get the person involved in the mission. They're able to see, they're able to talk to our folks
here.
That's the dorm where the academy men sleep.
So you do, okay, that's the academy. That's the 18-month program.
That's right.
That doesn't mean a homeless person comes in and they have a place to stay. That's not what this is.
Not
here.
Not what you're seeing right now. But we do have an area where people can come in for the night and be able to spend the night. We have about 49 beds available for those folks that want to be able to come in and sleep for the night.
But what we're looking at here is the men's academy. They come in, if they're hooked on drugs or alcohol, that's the 18-month program that you talked about earlier here on this program. But primarily, you're there to feed them if they're hungry.
We clothe them.
But you give them clothes.
That's right.
But it's not a permanent place to stay because, like you said, you only have 49 beds, right?
49 beds for those that are going to spend the night. We have 110 men in the program, so the picture you just saw was the academy. Those are the beds for those men that are going to be there for the whole year.
But if women and children come in, are they going to have a place to stay?
Women and children, we have a place for them over at the RTC Center. We have a capacity there for 75 women for 100 children.
Okay. Okay, so is it a permanent?
It's not permanent housing. It's we do provide transitional housing, though, for men that have completed our program, and for some of the women. We have transitional housing where they can stay an additional 6 months as aftercare. We continue to monitor and make sure they're staying clean and sober and doing the things that they need to do, and they have a job and they're working and their life is moving on. But we do have apartments for them.
So you keep them until there's a transitional period when they can get back on their feet?
Yes.
Well, then why do we still have a homeless problem in Fresno?
It all comes back to accountability. You've got to want to be able to get your help. So many people say, I'm laying here, but I want the government to help me, or I want for you to help me, or give me some money. But those that are out there, they need to do their part also. It's the proverbial, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink. They have to want that.
Go ahead, Bud.
It comes back to what you started with, personal responsibility. And it all falls back to that. They have to want it. There are people out there who think they have an attitude of entitlement, that you owe me, and I don't have to do what I don't want to do. And we don't think there's people out there like that, but there are. And that's why when someone thinks that they are, by giving money to a homeless person or by doing something that a person should be doing for themselves, they're enabling them, okay? And by enabling them, they're really harming them. And they're establishing a pattern of chronic homelessness in a person where they feel like they deserve it, they're entitled to it, and they don't have to change. Why should they have to change when everyone continues to give them things?
Right. So we're making the problem worse.
Yes, we are.
By just enabling them, giving them money.
Yes.
And then the government should maybe, in your opinion, Larry, just stay out of it and let the private sector handle this problem?
Yes, private sector, individuals. It's people helping one another. As iron sharpens iron, we just look to the churches. It's more of a moral, ethical issue that needs to be addressed.
We got to take a break. Bud Searcy is here along with Lary Arcy. They are both from the Fresno Rescue Mission talking about the homeless problem here in the city of Fresno, and it's a big one. It's always been around, and it's always been a political football toss back and forth with city leaders, and maybe, like Larry said, the government should stay out of it. If you want to call in, make sure and turn down the sound, and we'll take your phone calls right here on the air on Connect with Me. Back in a moment.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Back here on the program, you're watching us, of course, on Comcast Channel 187, 43.6, and now 13.1. Bud Searcy, Lary Arcy are here on the program from the Fresno Rescue Mission. Let's roll another piece of videotape, and it's called Workout. So you guys have a workout area for the homeless, is that correct?
Actually, it's a workout area for the men that are in the academy program. So
this is part of the Men's Academy program again. Okay, go ahead and roll that tape and talk a little bit about what they do in there.
Okay. Part of what our men have free time, and a lot of what they do on free time is they like to exercise. They play basketball, softball, flag football. They like to lift weights, but it's part of what they do to keep themselves healthy and in shape. So and we we do teach guys how to take better care of themselves, good hygiene, good eating habits, exercise, and so on. So it's changing the whole person from the inside out and changing their lifestyle. When they're in their addiction, they did not take care of themselves, didn't eat right, didn't sleep for days, totally misused their bodies. So while they're in the program, it's a program of spirit, body, and mind. We try to bring healing and health and wellness to every part of the person, including their physical state, and give them what they need, the tools that they need to take care of themselves.
Hey, let's go over some of these other services that you provide. We've already talked about the chapel service. We saw the chapel there, the Men's Academy program, the Rescue the Children with the women. You renovated the Vagabond, of course. You have other services like, okay, this food services. We talked a little bit about that, right?
Right.
You want to expand on that a little bit? How about you, Larry or Bud?
Well, we're feeding over 1,000 people a day. We have full-time staff that works there. We are able to provide many meals that are nutritious. We have a lot of people that are dealing with a lot of life issues as far as diabetes. They're just not healthy, and so we try to provide the most nutritious meals possible for them. But we also are able to extend our help. When our cup is filled, it's pressed down, overflowing, we're able to meet with other organizations and distribute a lot of the things that we get also.
Right, we were able to share with about 80 other organizations around town with our surplus.
And are you guys a 501c3?
Yes, we are.
You are, so you rely primarily on donations?
Oh,
yes, totally.
Totally on donations.
You get no government funds.
You have no government funds?
No federal, no state, no local, no county. It's all
no
private
grant
donation.
of any kind?
Oh, we go after certain grants that are available through foundations, but basically I'd say 95% of all of our giving is through individual donations.
Who cooks your meals?
I have a staff, and I have a food administrator there. Also, we have a chef and a number of people, but we also have a number of men in the program that work, and they learn culinary skills, and that's part of the programming.
We have part of our program is teaching vocational skills, and so we have some men who are employed in the kitchen as part of their work therapy, and we're actually teaching them how to be order cooks and give them the culinary skills that they could get a job, possibly in a restaurant.
Okay, we talked a little bit too about the emergency overnight shelter. You said you have 49 beds to deal with for that kind of a situation. Community care with case management, what's that all about? Is that for mental health or what?
It's part of our emergency shelter, like Larry was talking about, is the 49 beds. They can come in and stay the night. They meet with the case manager if they so choose, if they want help to get off the streets. And the case manager can connect them to the services they need to get off the streets and get the help that they need.
And what's the safe area?
The safe area is something that we've been doing for a number of years. It's literally saved the city of Fresno literally millions of dollars. It's where a person is inebriated, he's a danger to himself or maybe to someone else.
Police department get involved with that?
Oh yes, in fact, they're the ones that pick them up and they bring them to us, and we house them for the night, put them to bed. In the morning they get a sandwich and a cup of coffee and they're on their way. And so it doesn't fill up the jail. It allows more jail space for those that are really involved in crime. But we help out in those areas.
What about you were going to say something. Go ahead, Bob.
It used to be the old fashioned drunk tank. Yeah, so they, instead of locking him up in the drunk tank, they would take him to us, and then we saved the booking fees, which is a lot of money every year. Yeah. And they're able to sleep it off. People are making sure they're safe and well taken care of, and then also given the opportunity, once they are sober, to get into program.
And what about the Fresno Medical Respite Center? What is that all about?
That respite center is an opportunity for a lot of the folks that have serious medical problems. They go to the community hospital, they get it taken care of, and now they have an opportunity for them to be able to come to us, and we're able to address their needs as far as doing bandages and making sure that they're keeping their wounds clean and all of that. Before, they didn't have that opportunity. Many doctors would not operate on a lot of the folks because they said the way you live and living out on the street, you're going to exacerbate your medical condition, you're going to end up back in here. We're going to have to redo the operations. It's going to cost a lot of money, which you are not able to pay. But now we're able to do that. And so in combination with other medical facilities, and we're able to
You're in
provide those
partnership
services.
with what medical facilities?
Well, it's part of Kaiser, it's part of Community Hospital, St. Agnes Hospital.
Okay.
They're all partnership with us.
And Clinica Sierra Vista as well.
Mainly Clinica Sierra Vista. They provide the nursing care that was needed. Plus, we have many of our staff that work there and provide the security and the services that they need.
All right, remaining moments coming up here on Connect with Me with Bud Searcy and Lary Arcy from the Fresno Rescue Mission. Hey, 436-ME-TV, option 11. Do call in. We're back in a moment.
Ladies' Night was started in his honor. Bar stools pull themselves out for him. The only thing Chuck Norris is afraid of is her. Cheers is the most memorable bar in the world. You may not always watch comedy, but when you do, watch Cheers.
Me TV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
All right, our topic today, the homeless here in the city of Fresno. And so this place started way back in 1949, post-World War II. How has the homeless problem changed from 1949 to 2014? Go ahead, Bud.
Well, Larry can speak better to that. He's had a longer history with the mission than I do.
Go ahead, Larry.
When you look back in those decades, back in those days, it's mainly the transients, the hobos, and they were referred to those as the drunks that would be in the area. And the average age of those folks was around 68. When you look at the pictures of the historical pictures that we have, it seems like a lot of men with a lot of white hair. But now when you look at the pictures, as we discussed earlier, it's between 20 and 25, the people that are coming to us now.
And there are women, children.
And now there's women and children. When I first started at the mission back in 1981 on the board of directors, there was only 2 women that I saw that were street people, but now we've got a lot of them out there on the street now.
Yeah. Okay, caller, are you there? Go ahead.
I am. Question I have is, do you gentlemen ever go out and about in Fresno to find those people that are really homeless, that are carrying grocery bags full of clothes and stuff that are sitting on the corner? Do you ever do that?
Yes, I have personally myself, and I have people that call me. They say, there's an individual here, and he's living in the bushes right by our neighborhood, and we don't really want him here. Can you come out and talk to them? And I do. I go out personally, and I've asked them to come to the mission, and you know what? 90% of the time is, I'd get away from me. I don't want to talk to you. I won't go in that area. It's too dangerous for me, or they have all kinds of reasons or excuses for not wanting to come there, but there are some that will come, and I put them in the back of my car and bring them right to the mission.
We also have a homeless task force, police officers that are assigned that area, and they will encounter homeless people and they come to and ask them, hey Ed, are you ready today? Are you ready to go into a program? And we get calls from them occasionally, and we go out and we'll go into their tent or wherever they are and have a conversation with them and try to talk them into getting off the streets and getting into a program and get help.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, and I've noticed this happening not only in this city but other cities, if you walk up to one of the homeless people or even one of those transients that may be an alcoholic and you say, hey, instead of asking for money, how about if I take you in, buy you a hot meal? And
nothing wrong with that.
No, but they've turned it down.
Yes, they do.
They don't want a hot meal. They want money.
Exactly.
Why do they want money instead of a hot meal?
Drugs, alcohol.
Okay, that's the answer, right?
Yes, that's the answer. That's simple.
It's just a short term. $5. What's that going to do in a person's life when we're able to offer a whole year of sanctuary for them, to help them and to house them and to clothe them, all of that for a whole year for free? But yet they would say, no, just give me the $5, and we know what that's going to go for.
Right. And the main drug of choice back in 1949 was alcohol. Today it's methamphetamines amongst gang members and the homeless. It's cheap, and it's with so many things, it's ruining their brains, literally. We're getting a lot more middle class and upper middle class young people that are coming to our program.
They're on the street, huh?
They're on the street. They've been kicked out, but their drug of choice is prescription drugs. Prescription drug is
painkillers.
Painkillers, yes, absolutely. Valium, Oxycontin, Vicodin.
Right. Okay. A couple of more things here before we go. We've only got a couple of minutes left, and that is, this homeless problem here in Fresno. How many do you have on the street?
Well, the statistics vary depending on organizations. Many of them have fudged the numbers just for extra funding or extra monies, but you know, it varies anywhere from 2,000 to maybe 8,000 out on the streets, and but
anywhere from 2,000 to 8,000 people.
But from our perspective, for myself personally, my driving around and everything that I'm able to see is a lot less than that. It's less than 600 people out on the street.
But that's right, and we have to, because what they're counting, and their count is they're counting like multiple families living in a single apartment. They're also counting people that are living in cars. But when you go out and you look at the people that are wandering the streets and living in tents, it's far less.
Right. Okay, Bud Searcy, Lary Arcy, thank you for being here.
Thank
I
you,
really
John.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
You guys come back, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good to see you,
Thanks
Larry.
for having us.
Thank you very much. Okay, and come back again sometime.
Love to.
I'd love to talk about the homeless problem anytime here on the
Invite us.
program. All right, will do. Great job, gentlemen. Happy holidays, and we're back with the second part of our program here. Much more to come on Connect with Me, 436-MeTV, option 11. We're back here in just a moment.
A top secret location. It's the spies who love me, bringing together MeTV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring.
That's right.
Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar?
Possibly.
And smart.
The old finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Frigidaire. It means the first refrigerator. It means a history of innovations that help make your home life better. And now we introduce the new Frigidaire French door refrigerator with over 100 ways to organize for maximum flexibility. Built with adjustable flip up and slide under shelving and stackable crisper drawers. It's the refrigerator that flexes to fit it all, no matter what your day will bring. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Tough TV is the first digital broadcast network to offer first-run original programming targeted at men. Tough TV features content that men are passionate about. Sports.
No matter what happens in the fight, ooh, good right, left. He's coming on strong.
Lifestyle.
What we've done is we've created a technology that allows us to run video games in extremely powerful servers in service centers.
Drama.
Did you cause this?
Reality.
Welcome to this edition of Eye for an Eye. Now, today in court, we have the case of the reckless brother who tried to unravel his own family ties.
Talk.
Bam, we have a winner!
Specials.
I'm Dick Butkus. Welcome to the Butkus Awards TV special.
And movies.
Everybody on your knees, put your hands on the table.
Sports, lifestyle, drama, reality, talk, specials, and movies. Are you tough enough?
It's almost time.
Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent, Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman?
Fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the MeTV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The adventures of Superman.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Frigidaire. We introduce the first home freezer. The first pulsator agitator washer. And now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Back here on the program, time to change pace here on Connect with Me on Comcast 187, 43.6, and 13.1. Time to talk about this book now that just came out. It's in paperback, a very short read. It's called California's Gold Rush Bandito. Let me hold the poster up instead of the book, because you might be able to see that much better. We'll take the graphic down so you can see it. There it is. It's called The Gold Rush Bandito. That's right. And this book was written by Kelly Cadwallader, and he is here live in our studio now. Good morning, Kelly. How are you? And
morning, John.
You know, I got to be honest with you. I was pushed into this interview quickly without reading the book, and I don't like that because I like to be prepared for my shows. So I have not read the book. It's a Larry King type interview. What's this book about?
Well, I'll do the best I can for you. It's about the true stories of Joaquin Murrieta.
Okay.
And I originally started to write this as a mini-series. And it took me 40 years to put it together, and I did a little bit at a time, kept saving it. This summer, it got so hot up in the mountains we couldn't do anything, so it's on my bucket list, and so I put it together. And
what's the book about? Tell us what the book is about.
It's the general consensus of the story of Murrieta is that he was a bad bandito. He murdered and killed people, and then they sent a posse out for him and basically assassinated him and decapitated him. And that was the end of the story, but it's not true. What actually happened was he was a regular guy like anybody else, and he was a victim of circumstances along the ways. And he helped a lot of people out.
Joaquin Murrieta was who then?
He was a Mexican from the Gold Rush. He was born in Sonora. And he came up through the Gold Rush area. And in 1846, California was still property of Mexico until the Mexican-American War in 1848.
Right.
1848, it became a state.
Right, and then the gold rush in 1849.
Exactly. Gold was found in 1848, gold rush in 1849. In 1848, there had been 11 ships in San Francisco Bay. 4 of them were merchant ships, 7 of them were whalers.
Wow.
Okay? By 1849, there was 640 ships at anchor abandoned in San Francisco Bay. Everybody had jumped ships and gone to the gold fields.
So the book is about what then, primarily? It's about Joaquin Murrieta and his journey through the gold rush before California became a state?
His journey through the gold rush when California became a state.
Okay, not before it became a state.
Not really
before 1848, but right around 1848.
Right
is that
around
the time
1848.
period?
By 1853, the book ends.
Okay.
So it's 4 years of his escapades, and I actually wrote it in episode form because I wanted to have it made into a miniseries. And I sent it to Fred Silverman. Never heard a thing from the guy. So I missed the Sundance Film Festival.
Okay.
And I sent it in finally to the Sundance Film Festival and never heard a thing from them either.
What kind of a guy was Murrieta? What did he do?
He was just a regular guy. He was good in school, and as a matter of fact, up in Martinez, in Contra Costa County, he helped the first school teacher of record teach the children Spanish and the Spanish children English.
Why did he have a bad reputation?
He had a bad reputation because some bad things happened to him.
Such as?
And the influx of minors that were coming into the state at the time treated him quite badly. They hung his brother. They did atrocities to his family.
Yeah.
And the only way that they could really survive was to have safety in numbers. So they started teaming up together for protection.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we got to take a break here, and the book is called California's Gold Rush, and some of the true stories about Joaquin Murrieta back in the 1840s during the Gold Rush, and then, of course, thereafter through the 49, 50, and 51, 52, and 53 era. So we're going to come back and talk about where you might be able to get this, talking to Kelly Cadwallader. Back in just a moment. 436 MeTV option 11.
Attention all units. We have reports of 2 motorcycle cops protecting California's highways.
That's for us, good buddy.
The Men of Chips are on MeTV.
Hi, I'm John Baker. I'm John Baker. It's Officer Baker.
He's the blonde one.
Hi there. Officer Poncherello, man. Frank Poncherello. Oh, I'm Frank Poncherello.
And he's the one who's Eric Estrada.
There's no way I can remember a name like that.
Catch the blonde one and the one who's Eric Estrada.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Tune in to Heartland for the best in true country music. Relive vintage specials, one-of-a-kind concerts, and country music's earliest videos. Heartland is the heart of country. The only place where you can find country music, country stars, and country lifestyles 24/7. Heartland, the heart of country.
Now on channel 13.2.
Hey, we're back here with Kelly Cadwallader. He's written a book. We want to talk about where you can buy this thing. Let me hold this up one more time. It's the poster that you brought in, and it's called California's Gold Rush, Bandito, and the Bandito being Joaquin Murrieta. And you said that he was a good guy. What did he do for a living?
Whatever he wanted.
Was he a gunslinger?
Not really, no. They did some prospecting. They were excellent horsemen. And at that time, there was...
Was he a gold digger?
Yeah, he was a gold digger. There was thousands of horses out in the San Joaquin Valley. And they'd break horses, brand them, take them back to Mexico and sell them.
How many people do you think have heard of Joaquin Murrieta?
Not enough.
Is it being taught in our schools?
Not enough.
Because I don't remember him in school.
Well, this is an excellent piece of California history that should be taught in schools.
Right.
Because
it's part of the gold rush, right?
General consensus is he was such a bad guy, and he wasn't such a bad guy. Society made him a bad guy.
So was he kind of the Robin Hood of the West back then? Did he rob from the rich and give to the poor?
For certain people, he had a lot of friends.
Really?
He had a lot of friends.
So he was a thief, huh?
Scattered out through the valley. Well,
maybe that's how he gained his bad reputation.
Well, there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of stories out there, and it's really hard to differentiate what's the truth and what's not.
Okay, let me ask you the most obvious question. Why should we care? This was a long time ago. Should we care because this is part of California history, or...
If you don't know where you've come from, you can't tell where you're going.
Right. So interesting story about Murrieta. What, oh, we have a phone call. Good morning, you're on Connect with Me. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, I'm listening to what he's saying. I have a friend that every year takes part in the ride from Madera all the way to Cantua Creek, and they go on horseback, and he really enjoys it. They have a lot of fun, and it's been going on for many years.
Okay, all right.
I'll be getting out in your area as soon as I can. I need distributors all over the state, to tell you the truth.
Before we run out of time, where can they buy this book here that I have holding in my hot little hands here?
We have it at up at Shaver, at the coffee house in Shaver. It's at Cressman's. It's at Ponderosa Market in Albury, Marval and Prather, the Pizza Factory in Prather, Friant Trading Post, Coarse Gold Market, Coarse Gold Emporium, and the bookstore in Coarse Gold. And I can use all the distributors I can get. Because this is a great story, you guys.
Okay. And I asked the question before, you know, why should we care? This is part of California history. But this is one of, say, thousands, perhaps many more, stories that were a part of California history back in the 1800s, especially during the gold rush time, right? This is one of many.
Correct. It's one of many. And I'd love to hear from anybody that has any other stories to add to it that can be substantiated.
I've got 30 seconds left. Why the fascination with Murrieta? Why this? Why'd you pick this topic?
I'm in the middle of writing the book, and my cousin calls me and says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm putting together this book." She goes, "What's it on?" I said, "Well, it's on Joaquin Murrieta." And she goes, "Well, that's strange." And I said, "What's so strange about it?" She said, "Well, your great-grandfather was buddies with the guy."
Really?
And I said, "Sure, save it for the paying customers." And she said, "No, I'm serious." And she had letters from 1850 that they'd written to each other.
That's in the book?
I had to stop, go through all the letters and everything, and incorporate it back into the book.
Okay, so those letters are in the book.
And there's my great-grandfather.
Holy cow. Kelly, we're almost out of time, but you're coming back in January. We'll talk more about this. You're coming back when? January?
December 30th.
No, January 30th.
Ask Marcus.
Okay. No, you're not coming back December 30th. You're coming back in January sometime. We'll talk more about this book and then we'll talk about some other topics going on around California. I appreciate your time.
You got it. Thanks for the plug, John.
Hey, thank you for coming on.
You're
All
welcome.
right, Kelly Cadwallader, that's going to do it for us today here on Connect with Me. Back tomorrow with another live edition here on the showroom floor at Ventura TV. Have a great day.